All right, what's up, everybody? So today I just want to get into Twitch's wife, Allison, because there's a lot of stuff going around about her, and the narratives are starting to change more and more and more towards her. And I'm gonna tell y'all why that's not. I'm gonna tell y'all what's going on with her and keep it real with y'all. Everything is spiritually led, okay? And everything we do here, we're gonna connect the spiritual world to the physical world, because if you don't have them connected, you won't get the 100% picture of what's really going on. So many people had their speculations. Okay, yes, it does look suspicious, but I'm going to tell y'all why she is more than likely not a subject to this, and she's more of a victim that's threatened to be quiet. Here's the deal. When I had that dream and when God was communicating with me, he never said anything about Twitch's wife, Allison. He never said anything. He said their family was threatened. And when he said Baphomet, he tied Ellen allegedly to Baphomet. He kept saying it. And then when I had the dream, you know, Twitch told me what he said. He said, thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping save people. And he was saying to me, they did this to me. Because when he said they did this to me, he was talking about when the conversation God had with me about, he was telling me what God was saying. He was confirming to me when he said they, God told me Ellen and crew did this, allegedly. So he said, they did this to me. And in that dream on the left of me, I knew that God was standing next to me. I just couldn't turn to see. Because I could see that light, I could see that presence. Okay, so I knew that in order for him to have said to me, thank you for helping save people's lives, he had to have known that I did messages in the past. Okay, so anyway, the key with him, what he was saying to me was Baphomet, Baphomet, Baphomet. That was the key before I woke up. So remember these three things: Baphomet, why they killed him, and what Twitch was going to expose. That's what everybody need to be focusing on, because right now, I'm going to tell you what the enemy doing. I'm going to tell you how it worked. Now, as a mother, or as a parent, mother and father, Twitch went in that situation and he knew something was wrong. He wasn't no stupid man, okay? But because his kids were involved, his family, he knew that if he didn't, something bad was going to happen. And he, as a man, as a father, he stepped up and walked into it. That's what he did for his kids, okay? And from her as a motherly standpoint, you have to think she's in the same situation. But here's the problem with her situation right now. She can't defend herself because she doesn't want nothing to happen to her kids, okay? So the key is Baphomet. Now, there's a lot of stuff going around about Allison, about how I've heard she probably had a relationship with Ellen. She did not. She was married to the man for 8 years, okay? She was too outspoken. On top of that, like, for her not to be saying nothing, she's too outspoken. I've seen those two together, them talking. She's too outspoken. She's not, you know, you got to know that she was probably going around asking questions. And they said, nope. They cut it off right there. And she probably found out some stuff. If not, witnessed some things happening right then in that moment, like before he got taken to that hotel. So, you know, they saying that she had a behind the scenes relationship with Ellen. They saying that she set him up out of jealousy and wanted the money, and they saying that Twitch ended his life because he lost money. All this stuff is just not known thing. Like, you know, it's just people are making stuff up based on, you know, it's just going around on the internet. And you know how stuff spread like wildfire. You know, when it comes to content and media, how that stuff get around. And that can actually make people believe that this stuff is legitimately factual and take away from the narrative. What we need to be talking about is Baphomet. How Baphomet was in the White House, taking it above Christmas decorations in the White House over we the people, over the White House, and over the what portrayed to be the citizens. That's a problem, because that's the enemy in plain sight saying, yeah, I did it. And they kept telling me, God and Twitch kept saying Baphomet, Baphomet, Baphomet. Now all of a sudden, Baphomet's head is in the White House. So that's the key. That's what they want the focus to be on. But see, people don't cover the spirituality of a situation, on why things happen. And that's where people get lost in all types of stuff. The wrong type of sauce. So, when it comes to Allison, there's a script Ellen, there's a script that has been made. If something is planned, that means everything is planned out. It is scripted. Everybody has to play a part, including the victims. And as a host of a show, everything has to be perfect, right? They plan it out, piece by piece by piece. Everything is so overly dramatic, too. So you have to think. One thing that Anne Heche said in that article, she said, she responded to allegations against Ellen. She said that, talking about the toxic environment accusations, she says, when it comes to trauma, unhealed experiences, causes that stuff essentially. That just comes from unhealed things. So maybe Ellen did face a traumatic something. So everything, is being projected in what's being planned. Everything is overly dramatic. Everything is so tragic, It's just too much detail. And then being a host of a show, So Allison's script was the wife who dramatically ran in the police station, because it just don't make sense, but they did it on purpose. Couldn't people just say she called the police? Because I think it takes 24 hours before you can report somebody missing. And that's where they was going with it. That's how they thought. Well, she waited 24 hours to see if he come home because you can't report something missing. But they ain't say that directly. They want you to say that. Understand, y'all, they want us to say things. They want us to help create the narrative. So that's the problem with people making videos all over the place and saying certain things that are not known things. We know Baphomet is in the White House. We see that. We know that Twitch was going to say something. We know he was killed because of it. And he worked under Ellen. Those are known things. It's in plain sight. We already know. But those other things about Allison and these other things being put out there are not known. They're just made up. Okay? They're not in plain sight. So when it comes to Allison's script, she had to play that role for her kids because of saving their life. That's what this is all about, as well as from their family standpoint, their children. She's a mother who wouldn't do nothing for their kids. And I know, that's why I didn't want to say nothing bad about her, because I didn't want to disrespect Twitch's wife in that sense. After he had told me, thank you for helping me. And I know he wouldn't want me to do that or anybody else. He loved her. So the thing is, she either knew something, she knows something. She knows. She's not stupid. She probably asked around, figured out, where's his phone? Can I see this? Can I see that? Where's the footage? She probably wanted to go to the hotel herself. And they said, no. This is what's going to happen. If she didn't already know prior to the stuff happening. So the enemy, how he works, he's very cocky. And he knows that she can't say anything. So, and she's fearful of her children. Now, the Lord is not a spirit of fear. The enemy is. All she got to do is just ask God to help her. I promise her she going to be okay. I promise her she going to be okay. And her kids. God will do it. But the enemy will put you in that fear state to make you a captive, a prisoner in your own body, in your own life, in your own mind. Do you understand? And that's what's happening to her. She can't say anything, but they did it on purpose with the LAPD, whatever situation or story, because it makes her look really bad. And that takes away the narrative from the three things: Baphomet, why Twitch was killed. I'm gonna keep saying it because I want y'all to stay here on this narrative that needs to be spoken on. Twitch being why he was killed, what he was about to say in Baphomet. That's what they wanted me to focus on, God and Twitch and those dreams and throughout that communication, because that's the purpose. I'm gonna keep saying that. Stay with me on that. So Allison, when people do these videos, when they do these articles, when TMZ says this, because TMZ ain't even reliable, they working with it too to spread the narrative. Now, from all this new evidence with the letter, oh, come on, I get that out of my face. Allison is threatened. And it makes her look bad so that the things that are being said about her can take away from that narrative. And so people can go from Twitch, why this happened to him, Baphomet, and what he was about to say to, it changes. Allison did this. The focus is all on Allison. And they're allowing social media to do it. Y'all got to remember, social media like TV. So when these celebrities put posts and stuff like that, that's like to the public. That's still like TV. Fake smiles, fake this and that. That's like TV. Excuse me. That's like TV. So you got to remember that. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Ain't nobody see that. So when people create this narrative about his wife, the enemy knows that people that were involved that actually did it to Twitch know it. It's like a slap in the face to Twitch while he's not on earth and to her, because she can't do nothing about it. And the whole Baphomet being in the White House is a slap in the face to the whole situation that the enemy feel like I got away with it. And all of y'all fools can't see it. Don't even know what Baphomet means because you don't understand spirituality. That's what he's thinking. He's laughing at us. He is laughing at us because people genuinely do not understand the spiritual aspect. Okay? And that's just the ways of the world blinding people. So when you look at situations like this, you got to be careful, because if you keep talking about Twitch's wife and why she didn't do this and why she's a mother protecting her kids. She's a mother trying to figure out what to do, being now a single mother, while have been threatened and know the truth. That's going to mess and tear her up. She is a prisoner in her own mind and her own body because the enemy got her in prison on earth with this situation. Okay? And when it's all said and done, when people create narratives, like I have watched certain people's videos about this, to see where other people stand. I don't like to do that, but not during when I've been talking about it, but before I started doing this, certain people, I would see certain people do certain things, like use certain spiritual aspects that wasn't God, or people just, speak an opinion, which they have the right to do. And the wife came up, and certain people was just kind of, yeah, she definitely has something to do with it. And it's like, you're not thinking that as a mother, maybe she was threatened and she can't speak. She might lose her life, leaving her kids all alone. The one thing, and I'm going to tell y'all what, it's funny, because I make sure I say good morning to God, how you doing? He always, that communication, I know people going to be like, you can't speak to God and y'all. Yes, you can. Because we wouldn't be here without God, okay? Understand that. And he will, in these last days, he will communicate with his children, warnings and everything, trying to make people get right and keep them safe from the enemy to prevent these type of situations from happening to you, okay? So, the other day I was kind of just like, how's Twitch holding up? Like, how's he doing? I said, is he still worried about his kids? Is he adjusting to the spiritual aspect of things? Because I don't know how that stuff works, y'all. I've never died before, I just experienced that one time outer body. I've had dreams about things before, but not, I've received prophetic warnings to get out. I've received warnings for my life for things happening to me with people that didn't belong. But that was new. So I asked God, and God says, yeah, he's adjusting, He's adjusting. And I kid y'all not, I'm not even playing. When I started talking about Twitch's wife, before I started recording, trying to get confirmation to make sure before I spoke that I was speaking correctly, I I'm telling you, that was him. I heard like something say, wow, you better than most detectives. Like, I kid you not. So you are smart. Like, you are better than most detectives. Right when I started talking about this, about his wife, about the narrative that's unknowingly being pushed by the media. And people don't realize they actually assisting and covering up the truth because they creating this whole story wrapping around his wife. And not about Baphomet, not about why he was killed, and not about what he was about to expose. We have to stay on those three things. We have to. Because then the narrative just gets dumped in the trash and is all over the place. There's no clear. You have to keep putting pressure on the enemy. Why did it happen? What was Twitch about to say? Baphomet, Baphomet, Baphomet. Everybody, so be careful. If you are somebody doing videos, be careful in them YouTube comments, because you may be helping spread a narrative to push the truth away further unknowingly. I'm not saying you're doing it on purpose. I'm saying unknowingly. Okay? And I don't know how many people, y'all, with this story coverage that y'all gonna hear speak on it like this. I don't. But I know when God leads me to do something, he's leading me to speak on this. I was taught, he taught me a lot of things about patience, I've dealt with the enemy's attacks on me, y'all. Plenty, enough to know how he operates and can identify him when he's working in a situation. So I'm going to use that with everything that I was taught, use the heart that I was given and how God got me together, and I'm going to help people in the situation and do it the right way. I'm not going to attack. Even if somebody wrong, I ain't calling Ellen out her name or nothing like that, because at the end of the day, Ellen is a person that's went through struggles as well. I'm not saying what she allegedly did was right to these people, but you do got to understand the enemy will take over. The enemy will convert you, take over, and destroy your life and make you destroy other people's because you feel like there's no hope. So I want y'all to remember this right here. We got to focus on this. Why did this happen to Twitch? What was he about to expose? And Baphomet, this is bigger than just Twitch, okay? This is the enemy running through some things. We got a whole false messiah, Israel's false messiah in the world today. In Israel, y'all, is Yanuka. So it's a lot of abnormal things happening in the world today. We are in the end times of the world. There's no doubt about it. So you're gonna see a lot of things going on that are not good. But when we approach these things, I need everybody to understand, like, I know everybody had a belief systems, but for me, God is not a belief system. He's shown me what he can do in my life. He's shown me. He's literally blessed. He's told me, get ready for your blessing, and blessed me 5 minutes later. My refresh. I don't know if by the time I record this, I'm going to upload that video first or not. But with this platform, he blessed me overnight. Not even playing. I had to go through months of patience, but he blessed me. And he want me to do stuff like this. He want me to spread light and truth on things using what he taught me. So if you are somebody, that don't believe God, okay, whatever. But I know my experiences, and I know the gift of discernment God gave me, how I can hear and see things maybe other people can't. And I'm going to use that for the right reasons. Understand that when I tell you. So I hope this message made sense to everybody. I really do. I just want y'all to understand, like, I know we watching a lot of people out here talk about this coverage, but you've got to be careful what you take in if you are invested in this situation. If you are somebody that has content creating skills and want to speak, be careful, because there's a spiritual side and there's a physical side to it. And if you start catching the wrong stuff, you could very well be helping the enemy hide and bury this narrative, the narrative that needs to be spoken on. One last time, why was he killed? What was he about to say? Twitch. And bafflement in the White House. Big problem. Everybody say conspiracy this, conspiracy that. You know what God say? Don't call conspiracy what the world calls conspiracy. Don't be invested in the philosophies of the world. They will deceive you, because that's the way the enemy has built our world to be, spiritually dead. So people don't know nothing or why something happening to them. You know, we grow up and we get taught incorrectly how the world truly works, and we get put in a system of the world that does not be successful for everyone. God would not create this world or a system for only a certain amount of children to be successful. He wants us all to be. So understand, just like Allison being kind of in a situation where she feel like she captive, don't feel like you stuck. And I hope she feels like she's not stuck. I hope she does take those feelings to the Lord, and that he can relieve her from this fear, so she can save herself and so she can save her children. And hopefully, you know, Twitch can rest. His soul can rest. Because I know he is probably turning over, ready to bust people upside their head, talk about his wife like that. Come on now, y'all. They was real happy together. I could see it through interviews. You know, she was with him, for 8 years? I just don't see, if that was the case, God would have said it to me. But he said that their family was threatened. So I'm going to pray for them. Father, I pray that they, entire family, can heal around the ending of the year. Let 2023 not be a year of tragedy, but a year or a loss, but a year of restoration, renewal, and a new insight on life. I pray that his children can remember him as somebody who protected them and not somebody who left them. He never left. I pray that the enemy don't come through to deceive, because, you know, I know how people come through, do comments and try to, you know, doing stuff like this. You get those people that do that. I pray that the enemy does not use anyone. He does not come through to deceive or take away from this message. Okay? And I pray that anybody watching this message, you hear this with a clear mind, an open heart, a clear mind, regardless of what our experiences are. It's about what God wants this message to be overall, what he wants us to see. He told me 2022 will be the year of awakening, and 2023 will be great things to come. So let's let that keep rolling, rocking and rolling. Amen. Peace and blessings, y'all.